The following podcast is brought to you by
Elite Performance.
What's Poppin' Corn Snacks? Printed Memories.
Revved Up Tattoos.
The Fighter's Friend.
Doc Sports Service.
The One's Kitchen.
Inner Beast Sportswear.
BW Sports 1, sports media marketing and design. Check us out at BWSPORTS1.com. It's another original BW Sports 1 production.
Pew pew!
Hello. How art thou? I don't know where Dan went. He was there. He started the show, but it looks like it's me, and I don't know where to go. So, but anyway, this is the Dukes of Football, and this is your man's the one. It looks kind of weird because I am on my phone. Um, yeah, and it's odd. Oh, there he is.
We both are on our phone because the computer is gremlinitis out. I don't know what's going on. So let's start this back over a little bit. That guy right there is the one. This guy right here is the lion. Together, we are the Dukes of Football.
I was so thrown off because I was expecting two faces, and I was like, am I on?
Yeah,
But
man.
I
I
was
don't
picking my
know.
nose.
I don't get what's going on. I'm so frustrated with it. It is what it is. We're moving on. We're rolling. We're rolling.
I guess we're gonna have to check and just see if anybody else is having issues with their thingamajigger.
Thingamajiggers.
Yeah, their broadcast. If they're having any issues with their broadcast.
I gotcha.
I'm trying to get a good angle.
Yeah, we're coming in on the fly here tonight, folks, because of all the issues. So we apologize, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it happen.
Because that's what we do. We make it do what it do, baby. That was terrible. I will never do that again.
You know, bro, I hope you got the notes up on your computers because I'm gonna roll off of you because I got the notes on my phone, and that's what I'm on right now.
I understand. I do actually have the notes on the computer thingamajigger. She gave me a thing. Looks like a gun, but it's not. It's like a
Yes.
holder
Got one of those too.
on
I
the
just don't know
phone.
where it is. Oh, I know
Yeah,
where it
and
is.
I would like make way more issues that we already have trying to hook that up. I can see me turning the phone off, whatever. Yes, so I do have the computer up with the things. So I guess, and sorry we won't have slides tonight because obviously we're having gremlins. So I guess we'll start with what we're going to start with. We'll start with ridiculousness. It did have some ridiculous. I had an either or. We had players sitting out of bowl games
Mm.
or NFL players rushing into the playoffs.
I mean, what's the question here? What's worse, or are we
I,
diving
I,
into
I,
one or the other? What are you
I,
thinking?
I guess what are the other? The reason why I asked that when I'm kind of leaning more towards the bowl games because I don't know if you saw my story. I posted that interview with Saban talking about the significance of Price and Williams playing in their bowl game with Alabama when there was still no national championship type thing to lose for them. So um, I guess, I mean, I kind of agree with Nick. I mean, I'm not a fan of these kids or these young men sitting out of bowl games to get ready for the NFL when it was your team that got you NFL ready.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, I mean, I've never been a fan of sitting out a game if I'm okay to play in college. Pros is a little different because that is the playoffs. That you play an 18-week season. If you already are in the playoffs and you're set and ready to roll, why not rest them up so you got so you feel a little bit better. In a bowl game, man, like you said, that's different. That's the last time 90% of that team is ever going to step foot on a football field with the pads on ready to play. That
You know
right
what I
there,
mean?
it's a way deeper than your teammates in an NFL team trying to make to the Super Bowl and make a dive into the playoffs. That's different.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, these young men, there's like 100 and some odd people, young men on these teams. They all work for since the spring to get to this opportunity to play in the bowl game. Like you were saying, you know what I mean? 90% of that team is not going to play football again.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just the facts of it. And real talk, these guys are sitting out. If it wasn't for those other 100 guys, you wouldn't be in the position that you're in to sit out a bowl game anyway. You know what I'm saying? This is a team thing. This is like going to war. You know what I'm saying? Those are your brothers. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Now, if you're hurt and you want to get healed up, you know what I mean, for the draft, whatever, but not just to miss the bowl game.
If you're like significantly injured, obviously I see that. If you're just beaten up and banged up a little bit, I mean, come on, let's face it. You had a month to get ready for this game that you just played in a bowl game. I mean, you have a month. You have 3 to 4 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks really to get ready for a game. If you're injured,
Yes, sir.
being hurt and being injured are two different things.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. I don't know if you can see chats. I can't see chats, so
Uh, Not yet. I'm heading back up to the computer
oh,
here.
you're good.
Go ahead and get on the headphones.
Oh, well, hello, Cedric. Please don't come up here acting the complete fool. That's the cat. But
I
anyway, moving
figured.
along. Moving along. So let's get into what's popping corn snacks. So what's popping around the league? Brought to you by What's Popping Corn Snacks. Check out the best gourmet corn snacks around and make it your own with your own customized label. Go to what'spoppingcornsnacks.com today and get your label made. Yeah.
Pow!
All right. So
Pow!
we're gonna start with NCAA. So I guess we'll start at the top. We will recap the New Year's Six, going into the semifinals, and then we'll do our championship game chit chat and predictions, and then we'll go into the NFL. How does that sound to you, sir? I can't hear you. Your
Sorry,
lips are
I
moving.
said,
There you
"Yep,
go.
let's roll." I'm ready.
Let's roll. So let's see what first up New Year's Bowl we gonna roll with. Let's go with the Rose Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the Rose Bowl.
Tell
Way to
you
make me
right
look
now.
good, Penn State.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Damon. I will never bet on Utah again. I'll never put my checks in Utah again. I've been
What I
burnt. It
tell you?
feels like they are the Arizona Cardinals of the NCAA for me.
Yes, 100%. Two West teams. Like I've had that faith in the Cardinals. Like, yeah, this is gonna be the year. No, it's not. And I gave up quick on Utah. And I gave up quick. because they got me twice early. I gave up, and I knew it. I knew it, and I went with the Nittany Lions, even though their guy wasn't playing. I mean, it was Big Ten, bro. I had to give them Big Ten. I mean, it was a good game, though.
It was. It was. I mean, overall, these games have been really good. The Rose Bowl, it kind of gave you that traditional feeling again. I don't know what it was about it. I know it's, obviously Pac-12 and Big 12 or Big 10, whatever, Big 16, however many teams are in it now. But it gave you that feeling of what it used to be. I mean, you had some dominant Big 10 and Pac-10 game teams in that game, and they showed it. And, I mean, unfortunately, my pick lost, but, Big 10 won,
And
so
mine
I'm
didn't.
happy. I'm happy.
I thought it was good for both the Big Ten and the Big 12. Actually, I'm gonna throw
You mean
another
Pac-12?
conference, the Pac-12. I'm actually gonna throw another conference in there, the Big 12, because all three of those schools made great showings for their conferences, especially more Utah and TCU, and showing for those conferences because they have high profile teams leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like USC and
UCLA.
UCLA leaving the Pac-12. So they think the conference is going down. Utah is like, hey, we got this. You know what I'm saying? Hold up, go to Rose Bowl, make a very good showing. They didn't win it, but it looked good. It was a good game. TCU the same way. Oklahoma and Texas going out. Everybody's talking like how it's going to decline. Who's going to come in? Is it going to be TCU? Is it going to be Baylor? Who's going to bring it? TCU is like, we got this. And we're in the final game. So I think in that aspect, it was a good showing for those conferences that weren't the Big Ten and the SEC.
I agree. I can see that, definitely. I mean, obviously, I was pulling for your boys in that game, but man.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yep.
we'll get to that.
Yep. Well, let's talk. I mean,
My reaction might not be what you think it is, but it might be.
I kind of got a feeling. But staying kind of with the Pac-12, let's jump to the Cotton Bowl. You had Southern Cal and Tulane.
Yes.
And Tulane comes out and says, no, 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 no. Wow.
And Tulane put up a fight early, and then it looked like USC's power. For one, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I thought Caleb Williams was not playing this game. That's why I picked Tulane. Now, I had Tulane thinking that they would press USC a little bit, but I really thought Caleb Williams was not playing. And when I looked up, it was like he's playing. I'm like, oh my God, I want to change my pick.
Good thing you didn't.
Good thing I didn't. But no, I wouldn't have because it would have been cheating.
True.
But, Tulane looked good early, and then USC's big boy dominance kind of took over the middle. But I think they celebrated just a minute and a half too early at the end of the game. And then you had mental lapses because you had checked out like you were going to win this game. These guys is done. They folded and boom, play, no hands, ball out, safety. They get the ball. Oh, my God, what it ended to a great football game.
That was good. I mean, I didn't catch all the game. I did see the end, obviously, but I was kind of keeping track of the score going back. I was like, okay, Tulane, like you said, came out strong, came out tough like we thought they would, but then here comes the condoms back out. And I thought, okay, here it comes. Trojans are just going to take over this game. And like I said, no. Tulane said, And, I can't, honestly, this is one of the most surprising games in my thoughts, just because of the Southern Cal team that we've seen all year. Now, granted, they have been a little bit iffy here and there, but they've done what they've needed to do. Like we've talked so many teams in the past, they do what they need to do in order to do, to win the game. And it didn't work out this time for them. Hats off to Tulane.
Yeah, that was great. It was great for mid majors. We always get one. When Boise State was traditionally who it was. I think we had Coastal Carolina one year. So we got some surprises. So good job with
Central
Tulane.
Florida.
Yeah, but Central Florida's put out some players though.
They have.
You know what I
They
mean?
have. They have.
Oh, isn't that who tried to make themselves a national championship? They tried to pull some shit from the '80s
Yeah. That they.
because they went undefeated. What that Lane Kiffin's dumbass? It was that Florida Atlantic. I don't know, something because they went
That might be
undefeated and
Central
tried
Florida.
to.
Yeah, that was Central Florida.
Yeah. Well, hello, Cedric.
What
Apparently,
up, Cedric?
Cedric.
He wants in. He's
Yeah,
not chilling. He's chilling.
yeah, not at all. He's chilling. Apparently, there's something outside that he's excited about. All right, so let's jump to another good game. Tennessee and Clemson.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I went with Clemson. I don't know why. I mean, it was. I don't know why.
Was it really that good a game? Not really.
No,
Not really.
not really.
I didn't think Tennessee was going. Well, kind of, sort of, yeah, because we've seen that Clemson team this year. Clemson, we've said it from the jump, has not been the same Clemson that we've seen the past few years. They've definitely taken a step back. And at the same time, other teams have taken a step forward, especially in the ACC where Clemson is. But, I mean, you have Tennessee. Tennessee is that SEC team. However, they've never been really, well, in a while, I should say. I don't want to say never. They haven't been really fully relevant in a long time. And now the past couple of years, obviously, Tennessee's been hyped back up. They're up there. But, yeah, I mean, Clemson, wow. I think that there is some issues at Clemson that need to be addressed.
I'm really not sure what those issues might be, other than hopefully he has a. He's fine. Hopefully he has a quarterback in the midst. Did I hear him sign like one of the top 5, top 3 high school quarterbacks committed to Clemson? So I mean, I'm not worried about Dabo having any issues in Clemson. It was just that Tua was, I mean, not Tua, or was it a Tua? Was it? No, it was somebody's little brother. Because I know Tua Belonga's little brother's at Maryland. So it's somebody else's little brother that is at Clemson. But I can't remember who. But he
Like
did
the
pan
fifth
out.
quarterback?
Like the one that just got benched, who was the starter at the beginning of the year, who got benched last year, who was the starter.
I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart.
And a complete brain fart, yeah. But anyway.
This whole not having my notes in front of me because I'm using my phone is really throwing me off. So
And I'll get you. I'll figure it out after the fact when I'm downstairs eating dinner. But
from the one's kitchen,
right? So I feel that he's fine. I mean, he'll recycle. Everybody has a couple of down years when you've been sitting at the top for a while. Look at Alabama. You know what I mean? So, and speaking of Alabama, having a top 10 matchup with K-State, and I don't know if K-State came out from the New Year's Eve party.
Nah, they were still hungover as hell. I think they were. They did not look good. They did not look good one bit. They didn't look like the same Kansas State defense that we've seen all year. That's for sure. And I really don't want to say that it is Alabama that much higher on the level than Kansas State. I just think, honestly, Kansas State did not show up that game. And it was relevant in the score.
I'm going to say it was a combination of both. I mean, they came out driving the proof point, and they did.
They did, yeah.
They did. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, it's not like 1997 when some stupid ass reporters are going to vote for the school who didn't earn it, Alabama or Nebraska, whoever. Red and white schools all sound the same to me.
Wonder who.
But it was a good showing, especially for Bryce Young and Williams, because I think both of those guys gonna go 1 and 2 in the draft. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
could definitely see that.
I guess it's time to talk about these semifinal games.
Let's get it.
Ooh.
Let's
I was
start with
talking.
the other game.
Yeah, I'll start with the other game because which will lead both of them, which will lead into a subject of conversation how it comes to um, the officiating and how things are decided. But we'll get to that. Number one, Georgia. Number four, Ohio State.
A lot closer than I
Uh,
expected it to end.
I said it was going to be a good game. I didn't think Georgia was going to roll them. I didn't think it was going to need to be Stetson showing why he's going to be the third pick in the draft and why he was in New York at the Heisman. The reason why Georgia is defending national champion, poised under pressure, man. You know what I mean? Back to the wall. You get the ball. You got this much time. Let's go run this. Let's go drive this ball down and get what we need to do to win this game, like an NFL quarterback will do.
But did he? He did his job. The only reason Ohio State is not in the national championship game right now is because of a piss poor final kick, way wide, looking like you like cuffed your finger off of the controller when you're in Madden. And wow, I mean, you talk about rigged, you talk about set up, man. If that didn't look that close to something, I don't know what else does. But it was so bad of a miss. It's like, dude, don't ever act again if that's the case.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take an intermission on that because I feel that has to be the same situation that Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl against the Saints. Like, come on, bro, you ain't throw that pass ever in your life, and then all of a sudden you just throw this miraculous pick six in the Super Bowl in New Orleans after Katrina. Come on, bro.
I'm just saying, man, that was a bad miss. That was the
Yeah, it was.
only reason. And I see what you're saying. Hell yeah. That is why Georgia has been national championships and are defending champions because the way they played. Was it Stetson did what he's supposed to do. However, the defense just let Ohio State run all over them. And a last-second field goal miss that should have been an easy. I don't want to say easy, but I'll say an mildly easy kick.
I mean, but listen, we're not gonna say mildly easy at all. That thing was like 50 yards, bro.
Hey, you're kicking. That's
Mildly
what your
easy.
job is.
No,
That is
yeah, it is. Mildly is like 41.
Okay, so it was a moderately. It was on the difficulty level of between 1 and 10 being a what? 6 and a half?
8? An 8 is a 50 yard field goal, bro.
But that bad, man, dude's got. I mean, we all know that he can't handle the pressure. That's the moral of the story here. Their kicker could not handle the pressure of where he was.
We've been saying,
but NFL teams are going to be looking at that and be like, I don't know. Is he going to be?
They wouldn't have been looking at him. They would have been looking at him anyway because his longest was like 46. So they wouldn't have been looking at his ass anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Good point. Then you ask the question: if he's not hit something anything close to that, go for it.
I mean, that was a better shot than throwing up a Hail Mary, bro.
At that
At least
point,
give him a shot.
I don't know. That's a double-edged sword.
With me
bad
personally,
as he missed it.
hey, personally, I don't give a rat's ass what happened to that stupid ass school in Ohio. Woo!
Well,
Yeah.
they
Woo!
are, I'm sure, laughing their ass off right now at that school up north because TCU came out and said, like you said earlier, we're making a statement. That was a major statement coming from TCU in that program that has been teetering the upper echelon of the NCAA for a while now, and now it's finally in the limelight.
Well, they haven't been teetering since a while because remember last year they finished with like five and some odd wins. That's why dude's going to win Coach of the Year because he went from a under 500 team to possibly winning the national championship.
I'm not
Like I think it
necessarily
was in
saying 1 year to year, but I'm saying over the past, let's say 10 years, they've been like this: up, down, like a teeter. Now they're finally peaking.
yeah, they had to get rid of the coach. They had to get a new
Well,
guy in there.
it's part
But
of it sometimes.
no, no hate at all to TCU. TCU played a good game, and if
Mhm.
you remember me talking about it last week, I mean, obviously I was going obviously going to go with my guys, but I said this is not going to be the cakewalk
That
that
I thought it
people are
was.
predicting. You know what I mean? It wasn't. You know what I mean? I expected them to do what they do, and it looked like they were going to do it in the second half. You know what I mean? They got it down, and even on that last drive, which will bring up some other conversation. Even on that last drive they had an opportunity to win that game like Georgia had an opportunity to win theirs. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And it was doing what they were doing. It turned out to a shutout. Both of these teams had powerful defenses that did not show up. You
Nope.
know what I mean? TCU's did it the first half for a second. And I will say this momentum is the some bitch. You go out, and I understand why Jim Harbaugh went for it. I'd have went for it too, but I wouldn't have went for that play. I'd have went for exactly what we do. You go ahead and put that smash mouth on them right there at the 1 yard line and push that ball in the end zone. It is a completely different game. They stop you because you do a trick play that they read. So obviously, you know, what I mean, it was like, oh my God, they're going to throw a bootleg to JJ McCarthy. He's covered. So now you're stuck. You know what I mean? And then you come down and get a pick six. That was the whole change, the whole atmosphere of the game. You know what I'm saying? The second half, you pulled it back together. TCU showed the poise of a championship style team, and every blow they took a blow back.
Mhm.
So I ain't got nothing against them. All of them ended up with their numbers. JJ ended up with his. Donovan ended up with his. Uh, Max Duggan ended up with his. Their receiver ended up with theirs. So everybody who's going to the league looked good.
All right. Well, on that note,
One more thing.
uh,
We got to talk about this officiating, bro. I'm not the one who's going to say
fucking the thing
referees
sucked.
calls. Yeah, I'm not going to be the one to say referee calls or non calls change or affect games because you still have an opportunity to do your job and you wouldn't be in or in those situations for those calls to affect you. But there are always exceptions to the rule. One, you had the obvious touchdown in the Michigan game by Wilson. You don't establish the ball until you are in the end zone. That should have been a touchdown. Two, the targeting in both games. The
Targeting
one at
stupid.
the one that like who like I mean, it's almost as bad as what's a catch in the NFL. You know what I
Some
mean?
days,
Because
yeah.
that was a direct targeting. You dropped your crown of your helmet to the back of the receiver's head. That's should be targeting. You damn near knocked Marvin Harrison's Jr.'s head off his body, and it wasn't a targeting. Both of those calls completely affected the game. You know what I mean? You call the targeting, 15-yard first down. They still have time on the clock to go try to win the game. You call the targeting on Marvin Harrison, it's first and goal on the half-yard line. Ohio State, and you got the matchup right there. Michigan, Ohio State again. Obviously, they didn't want that.
Well,
I didn't either, but
Yeah, I don't think anybody wanted to see that matchup again. But
Yeah.
to your point, absolutely. I think the officiating needs to get 10 times better across the board. I'm not meaning just pros. I'm not meaning just college. I mean across the board. But you got to have people that actually care about their job rather than just what extra money they're getting. And obviously that's going to be very, very difficult to do with a lot of people that can be bought very easily. That being said, I'm not saying it was rigged. I'm not saying that anybody was paid off or anything like that. But the possibilities open the door to thinking that way for a lot of people. Now, we've seen way worse things. We've seen I don't say way worse. We've seen multiple things on a weekly basis that, Damon, yes, I agree wholeheartedly that the officiating sucks.
Oh, it's bad. It's
There's
like,
no
you know what I mean? 1 week is
consistency.
targeting, 1 week is not targeting,
Yep.
1 week is a catch, 1 week is not a catch.
There's no
You know what I mean?
consistency.
You got a referee telling the guy, yeah, you're in the right spot. Then he
Oh,
calls
yeah.
a flag on him and telling the legal people, wow.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. That was very interesting.
Yeah. So let's move on. National championship.
National
TCU number
championship.
3 Horned Frogs
Here we
against the
are.
defending champions Georgia. This is going to be a
Matchup.
really good game.
I honestly think that this is going to be a very interesting game. The defending champions are coming into this game, and I believe that they may be a little overzealous on what they can do to this TCU team. TCU's, like you said, hype and momentum is key, especially in college. There's a kids still playing the game, maybe getting paid. These are kids still playing that game. There's a lot riding on these players in their minds and on their possible NFL careers as well. So, with that being said, Damon, let me hear a key to victory for each team. Like one key of victory you think for each team.
Let's see. Key to victory for TCU is to be able to withstand a quick onslaught. I mean, we're able to withstand that quick punch that Georgia is going to give you. You cannot get brought up into like, yeah, I know you just played the semifinal game. Everybody's looking at you, but this is a national championship game. This is the national championship game. These are the defending national championship winning Georgia Bulldogs. Comfortable in this situation. Business approach in this situation. At some point in time, the bright lights is going to get to them, and they got to be able to take that first blow. Georgia, key to victory is just beat Georgia. You know what I mean? Just beat Georgia. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So one key to success for TC or for Georgia, I can see is hold on to the ball. If you turnovers are going to be key in this game. If TCU's defense is able to gain 2 turnovers against Georgia, I think that could be the key to success on TCU side, getting those turnovers.
100%.
Georgia has got to hold the ball for TCU.
Yeah,
And to kind of go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
to
ahead.
say what you to help you out on that. Michigan turned the ball over 7 times heading into that game and had 4 turnovers in that TCU game. Man, you can't win 4 turnovers. So I agree with you on Georgia. Has to protect the ball.
Yep. And then on TCU side, I want to kind of flip-flop what you said as far as that quick onslaught. For TCU, the key to victory would be to come out blazing like they did against Michigan. Put Georgia backs on the line and make them show why they were the reigning champs. if they're able to do that, if they're able to get Georgia back on their heels, I think that they're in for a very, very positive ending. It's all going to depend on, like I said, turnovers and how quick TCU, I think, can get up on the board and stay and keep the momentum going on their offensive side.
Real talk. I agree with you on that. Oh, I keep bumping the table. I keep moving, just bouncing.
Day.
Right. So I guess see, normally I'll throw up a a graphic
Hey,
that
hold
would
on.
show our picks.
Are you on? Can you put them up? And I might be no, because if you're signed out, it won't keep those up, will they?
I don't know. They're still up, or go see if you can do it.
I
Go
can't.
to
I don't see
presentation.
them. Yeah, I don't see them.
You go presentation. Hit slide.
Oh, hold on.
There they go.
There we go.
Efficiency.
There we go. We're making it work. We make shit happen here, even when gremlins try to keep us down. That's what we do at BW Sports One.
Well, I can't change it, but there you go. Those are the standings for our picks headed into the final week. As you can see, we have a tie at the top between. No, don't you walk over here on my computer. I'm on my phone, so it don't really matter. You can see there's a tie at the top between who is that? Tommy Boy and Tim.
Timothy.
Yeah, it looks like there's a strong race in second between you and Greg.
Yep. And you know what? I got to give you props, D. Even though your Steelers may not hit 500 this year,
we're at 500 right now.
Right now. You, sir, have came from the gutter, have came from the abyss of the black hole that it was the bottom of the podium in the picks, and you have brought yourself a little redemption for going above 500. I am proud of you, sir. Touche.
Hey, I'm by the way. Yeah, listen, I won last week. I finished 6-2. Even though Michigan lost, I still won the week. Yeah. Thank you, Tulane. Thank you, Penn State. I love you. Hi, friends. And the Steelers. Oh, yes. Can't forget those guys.
Yep.
Yes,
so I don't know what.
We'll talk about them later.
I don't know what order these are in. I don't know what's coming next. So this is kind of we're blinding you.
Yeah, we're blind because there will be one more game, but we didn't get that game. Let's see. I think we're going to do the playout like this is the last week. So whoever wins, or maybe whoever has the most wins this week. So we have to come up with something different for the playoffs.
Right.
So,
yep, that's what I was thinking.
But the way I was looking at it, I don't think we'll come out with a tie. I think we'll come out with a winner.
Well, you've seen the picks so far from everybody this week. Again, I see everybody else's picks except for yours and Storm's, and everybody sees everybody else's pick. So.
Let's see what we'll do. And that's what we'll do. If it's a tie at the top, we'll know before the national championship game on Monday. And what we'll do a points.
Well, there will be a tie at the top because I'm going to go 4-0. They're going to go 0-4.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
A three-way tie.
Okay. Oh, my God. I'm leaving.
Hey, I'm just saying it's possible. Probably not because we probably picked some of the same teams.
Yeah. All right. So go to the Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have them today. There you go.
Hey,
so you got
real quick. We have no question of the week because of all the gremlins. We are sorry, but we always give props to our buddies over at Elite Performance. Check them out, 765-499-1005, where the dream of elite fitness becomes a reality. Okay.
So you got the CFP National Championship game. Number 3 TCU, the one Georgia. 14-0 and 12-1.
Good game.
Hey, yeah, it is a good game, but hey, the panel has spoken.
Yes, it has. You know what? I hope to see TCU just upset all of us right now. At this point, I'm gonna be honest. Go Horned Frogs. Because the game has no meaning to me at all, especially now that
at all.
every
Zero.
one of us picked the same team, so it doesn't matter in the picks either.
It doesn't matter to pick it all. You know what I mean? Look, I'm not going to change, but you know what? No, I'm not. All right, so we're back in. So now we were going into our NFL.
Yep. Sorry, I guess we should have skipped the pick for national title, but oh well. It's all right. This is the last college football game of the year that we really, Ooh,
all right, so
really quick.
Yeah.
Hometown Carson Steele from Center Grove that went to Ball State. He hit the transfer portal and he has committed to one of the newest teams in the Big Ten, UCLA.
Chip Kelly.
Congratulations to him. Young man's got a definite future in football.
Should have went somewhere besides Chip Kelly.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly at all.
Nope.
All right, so but you can lead those up. We have a couple other things to discuss about NFL real quick. I'm going to say it, Dan. I'm going to come right out. I'm going to start this shit right off the barrel. Are you worried about your prediction on the Steelers that are sitting at 8-8 with one game to go, a home game against the Cleveland Massagers? I mean, the Browns.
No. For your sake, I can only hope they do win, and then there's ways that they can magnificently. I didn't say that right. Magnificently make it into the playoffs somehow, some way. It is a possibility, long shot, but it is what it is.
Listen. You're missing the point. I never said anything about making the playoffs. I said finishing over 500. I can care less right now. I don't want them to make the playoffs. I want them to.
No, I'm not. I think honestly, no. I think Cleveland will win. I honestly do, and I'm sticking to that because I don't want to lose that prediction win. Okay, that just feels like a good win when I was saying something right at the beginning of the season. Mike Tomlin is human.
All right, so that scratches off week 18 other key games is the last game to talk about. Because it looks pretty good. The rookie's looking pretty goddamn good. He's throwing touchdowns everywhere. The defense, TJ Watt is hitting quarterbacks left and right. Mink is picking off passes. Oh my God, we're amazing.
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Yeah, AFC North champions next year, baby. Let's get turned. All right. All right, enough. That's the only one of my teams that won that weekend. Basketball team was good.
Hey, man, I had a shit weekend last weekend. I'm not going to lie.
All right, so how good are the San Francisco 49ers sitting in where they can possibly have a home game going into the playoffs on their third string quarterback?
Man, I mean, it's not going to say they came out of nowhere, but once Trey Lance was taken out and hurt and Garoppolo went in, you saw a little life. Garoppolo gets hurt, and then all of a sudden, Purdy. Purdy comes in, and it's like the whole demeanor of the team said, hey, wake up. They've been playing some damn good football ever since week 12, 11?
Week ever ago, because I mean, you can arguably say they're the hottest team in the NFC.
It's very hard to disagree right now, honestly.
Second hottest team in the league behind Kansas City, who's on 11-game winning streak or some shit like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say that San Fran is not the team to beat in the NFC. I am not disagreeing with that one bit, even though we're sitting in the one spot. I mean, it's San Fran is a team I'm kind of nervous about playing in the playoffs. Any team
Speaking
should
of
be. Any team should be.
speaking of your guys sitting in the one spot at the moment, quarterback still not playing, heading into a conference game with a team that is jockeying for playoff position.
No, they're not.
I'm pretty sure you could. Oh, Giants aren't.
No, they're like literally set right there because either way, if we win or lose, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it could matter of us getting the one spot. I mean, every one of us, except for the last three teams that we'll get to here in a minute, that they're not on here. But so when you look at the NFC East on the screen, the Eagles and Cowboys can flip flop on their spots in the playoffs. The Giants, I do not believe, can advance any more than the 6th seed. Yeah, because either one, Philly and Cowboys, look at the records. So either one of us lose, and say if we flip flop, we're still 13-4, where the Giants are 9-6-1, or 10-6-1 at that time. So we'd still
Right,
be the 5
right. But
seed.
I mean, but the end question is, should you still be concerned
Am
how
I concerned?
you've not looked very good since Hurts has been out, and this is the number one seed in the NFC, which will give you home field advantage into the Super Bowl.
And it's been that way for the past, 2 weeks, like you said, since Jalen Hurts has been out. We've had the opportunity to lock this in and rest everybody for the last 2-3 games. However, we've gotten beat by the Cowboys, which everybody was saying we were going to get our ass kicked, which that was close. We shot ourselves in the foot with that one. Turnovers, again, we've talked about it. Last week, or this past weekend against the Saints, which I will give a shout out to my daughter's orthodontist, Dr. Werner. His son played for your rival at Ohio State and was drafted, or he at least made the league because he made a tackle against us in that game. And I saw his last name on the jersey. I'm like, that's Dr. Werner's son. So, shout out to him for the good tackle on the open field. I think it was a punt, I believe. Great tackle. It was nice. Yes, I am worried. Yes, I am a little concerned. However, I believe that I've heard that the New York Giants are sitting players this week to rest them for the wild card game. With that being said, if Jalen Hurts can go, he's going to go. They've both all said, everybody has said that already. If you take a 14-point lead, why don't you pull them though? Because I don't want to see us be the 1 seed and get knocked out the first game that we play because we don't have our starting quarterback. I would rather lose 3 games straight going into the playoffs, have to play the wild card, but yet we have our full team on the field ready to roll. It doesn't matter to me who's quarterback against the Giants. Sitting, no sitting, we're going to beat the Giants.
There you go. There's confidence in the Eagles fan. Let's see. The Colts are on their way out. There's nothing they can do. So what do you think the Colts do at coach and QB? Do you think they go play into the draft, keep Saturday, or do you think they revamp the whole thing, go new coach? Let me understand. Do you think they dive into free agency and go after guys like Carr and Rodgers with the contract, or Brady, or people who are open, or do you think that they just revamp altogether, new offense guy, new coach, and new quarterback in the draft?
I think if you're going off of what they've done in the past few years, they're going to pull a Derek Carr in as their starter. I think if they are wise, they look to the draft and they may even think about drafting up or moving up in the draft to get a Bryce Young, even I want to say even CJ Stroud. I mean, somebody with potential to give them a little youth, maybe not have the experience in the NFL, but man, you got $26 million sitting in experience on your sidelines. Let him mentor him through the years or something. I mean, you got two guys that are at quarterback position that have played for a few years. One of them has a ring. I don't know, man. I think the Colts are in major debacle right now. I think that this is one of the worst turnovers in a team in a long time, just because of the way it's been for the past few years. Ever since the wonderful, the godlike Andrew Luck left him hanging, they've been with their tails tucked because they don't know what they're doing. They got to do something different, regardless if people like that or not. That's what he did, and that's what happened. And ever since then, the Colts have been in shambles.
Well, we know the Colts are going to get a top 5 pick.
Yep.
So we know that. Here's what I think. Me, because this offensive line is not going anywhere. I know it doesn't look like the offensive line played very well this year, but this is one of the better on paper offensive lines in football, and they're all going to be back on the coach roster next year. I say, and when you have a veteran offensive line like that, it's rare that a rookie comes into that, and there's an opportunity for that. I feel that they keep. I think that they get rid of Banner, keep Saturday, and go in the draft. I go after Stetson Bennett. One, because he's a 25-year-old quarterback. He's played a lot of football and he's seen a lot, and he plays a pro-style offense down in Georgia. You put a guy who's poised in the pocket, who can make all the throws all over the field, doesn't turn the ball over, and you're giving him a running game, and you're giving him an offensive line. You can go get wide receivers in the other rounds in the draft or in free agency. I think they should go young and go in the draft.
No, I like I said, I hope they do. Honestly, they need some youth on the team. Period.
But we already know they're going to Derek Carr, so shame on them. All right. So I guess the last game to talk about, well, I guess it's Sean. So feeling disrespected about the Cowboys. I guess we can talk about the other two games real quick. Obviously, we kind of mentioned the Cowboys when we talked about the Eagles and the Giants game. Another conference game, another game that has significance for the Cowboys, not so much the Commanders, but the Commanders have known to give people problems on those last couple games that you might need. And it's not like the Cowboys is just going to walk in the Commander Stadium, which is not the name of it. It's just what I'm calling it, Commander Stadium, and just walk right over them boys. The guys can play some football, and they're playing for something. They're playing for the final game of their season. So I wouldn't take it too lightly. And the Cowboys have turnover issues. The Cowboys have penalty issues. So all you need to do is give a team with nothing to lose a little bit of hope, and they can get beat.
That's true. Go Commanders.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Jets and Dolphins. This is a playoff game right here, bro. Whoever wins this game is a playoff team.
Is that for sure?
No, but it is for the Dolphins.
I was going to say, it's a lot better if the Dolphins win. Yeah, but
the Jets will need help.
The Jets can need a lot of help. Does the Dolphins just have to win?
I think they need a win and a couple losses. I think they need a win and a Steelers loss. I think the Steelers need a win and a Dolphins loss, and then somebody has to lose or tie. All the Mel Kiper shit. So
I got you. Yeah, I mean, Dolphins just flat out need to win. However, they need a quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater, I think we have seen his days. Unfortunately, I think that was a missed opportunity, and just because of the situation that he was put in Minnesota. I mean, it is what it is.
100% agree.
It's unfortunate, but Teddy Bridgewater is no longer a starting quarterback in the NFL. Tua, obviously, now there's concerns about, do they look for a quarterback in the draft? Do they get a Derek Carr, a Lamar Jackson, something in Miami because Tua can't stay healthy? I mean, that would
Hey,
be that's
I
my
love how
question.
you mentioned Lamar Jackson because I think he's played no more games in Baltimore.
No,
Lamar can play. Lamar's like, nah. See, I gave y'all opportunity. I got dinged up. And yes, I'm done. I'm done.
we'll
I'm done
see.
for the year.
We'll see.
All
We'll
right.
see.
So I guess it's time for our picks.
Boom. First game up in the NFL for the AFC South, the 7-9. Okay, let me repeat that. The 7-9 Tennessee Titans going for the AFC South championship title up against the
Hey, ain't they
Jacksonville
lost
Jaguars.
like 5 straight games?
It's been bad. It has been bad, but it's just the fact that once again we're seeing a sub 500 team going for the title of the division and potentially a home game in the playoffs, which is so stupid.
Very.
That's why I think Jacksonville's going to take it. They've been I'd say almost damn near like most improved team this year almost.
Jacksonville playing good football last 5 or 6 weeks. I know they got a couple losses in there, but they got some pretty impressive wins.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence is looking like the number one pick that we thought that he was going to look like. And the pieces around him are starting to pop in. Travis Etienne is having a decent season. I like Jaguars. I mean, I like them in this game.
Do you?
And who has a pool? Yeah, and who has a pool in their stadium, bro?
The team that everybody across the network picked, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I will be stunned as hell if Tennessee pulls a win off here in Jacksonville to cap off the AFC South division. I didn't think Tennessee was not going to win the division, honestly. But I did think that Jacksonville would have a major upswing going into this year compared to last year.
Hey, to let you know how terrible Coach Urban Meyer is. Moving on message.
Next up, the Baltimore Ravens sitting at 10-6, visiting the Cincinnati Bengals sitting at only 11-4. Now, to make sure you understand this, folks, there is a game difference. However, this is for the AFC North title because Cincinnati has only won 2 divisional games. If Baltimore beats them again, that will be the second time Baltimore beat them this year, I think. Regardless, they're only going to have a 2-4 division record. So Baltimore could slide up to win.
Why would they have a 2-4 divisional record? They played all the teams in the division.
If Cincinnati loses, they'll be 2-4 in their division. That is the only reason that Baltimore is winning the division if they win, because there's a game difference. Maybe I said it wrong the first time.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, because of what happened, the unfortunate incident of, things happened the other night, which we'll touch here in a minute. But because that game was postponed or canceled, really, because we don't see anything coming up anytime soon, they're going to be a game difference. So even if Cincinnati still is 11-5 and the Ravens are at 11-6, because of the divisional record, Baltimore wins the division. Nuts.
Right. So, yeah.
It's crazy.
But there's more than just
what do you think?
good. It is more than I picked Cincinnati. I think I picked Cincinnati to win the division. Anyway, no, I didn't. I picked Baltimore because I was believing in
Lamar,
uh,
the Lamar train.
Lamar, but hey, Lamar said I'm believing in myself, so I'm not fucking with y'all. So, but no biggie. Um, there's more at stake than just the AFC North here. So Cincinnati's coming out all guns blazing. We know Baltimore has a problem with finishing out games, and as you can see with Pittsburgh last week, they have a problem with finishing out games. And this is not an offense that you want to have an issue with because they're coming in hot. Joe Burrows is on it. Jamar Chase is looking great. Dixon is running the ball heavy and handed, and they're playing for a possible number one seed in the AFC. So,
2 seed, right? Can they get the one?
if Kansas City loses, if that whole situation with
Yep.
Buffalo pops in.
Yep. You're right. Crazy
So
stuff.
they have a backdoor into the number one seed. So this is a huge game.
Holy
You know what I mean?
shit! I jumped the gun. I hit the button too quick.
Hey, but it's all good. But you got a lot of factors, you know what I mean? Is Cincinnati going to be all the way back mentally ready for this football game with the things that transpired on Monday? So who knows? It's a very interesting game to watch.
It is. The whole network. I can't get that 3-way tie this year, Damon, because we've all picked the same team so far. All 4 of us actually that would be in a 4-way tie if me and the Wizard won 4 games and Sean and Tim lost 4 games, there'd be a 4-way tie and all of us have picked the same damn teams. Moving on.
No, this is the game. This is the one that decides.
This
game will decide a lot. But like I said, the national championship game is Monday. We'll have any more games. That's the last football game. So we can do points on that game if we have a tie.
Okay, gotcha. So now the Lions and the Packers, both 8-8, divisional rivals at Lambeau, capping off Week 18, capping off the regular season of the NFL season this year. Now, how I believe this is weird because as of right now, I believe that Seattle is the last team in the playoffs. I could be wrong, I think Seattle has to lose and Lions win to have Detroit go into the playoffs.
I am confident in the Lions and Seattle.
Okay.
Confident in Seattle losing. Yes, I have zero faith in Judo.
There you go. So, if the 9 seed Green Bay Packers beat the 8 seed Detroit Lions, they not only jump the Detroit Lions, they jump to the 7th seed above Seattle, win or lose, and Green Bay suddenly is in the mix of the playoffs. Nuts! Crazy ending to this year's NFL season. Damon, NFC North division rivals, the silver and blue of the green and gold, green and cheese. I'll say green and cheese going at it in Lambeau for a playoff spot. What are you thinking?
See, I would love to believe in the great A-Rod, and all of his magic and his long, terrible hair glory. But there's a particular fella on the Detroit Lions defensive football side of the ball who pulled off a miraculous interception last week as he was legally on the field as one of the 11 players, was not really standing anywhere by the field, was on the field, but was just chilling and made a great read or the quarterback not paying attention and gets the interception, and Detroit Lions are successful. So, Aiden Hutchinson, go blue. Way to be an intelligent person from the University of Michigan. And for that, sir, you get my vote for winner of the game.
And it looks as if this could be the game that if we were all four-way tying, I would win the title. But I'm no longer in the mix now because one of those two, wait a minute. They picked the same. They are going to have a tie. Damn it.
They are. So there's the tie. Yeah. So, fellas, if I will put it in the notes or in the majigger in the feed, but the tiebreaker, the
He's putting it
tiebreaker
in
is
the
going
majigger, but don't be a rigger.
So the tiebreaker for the winner of this year's whatever. Oh, I have no power. My computer went away, so there went all my notes. I must not be plugged up. Thank you, cat.
Uh-oh. Oh, our buddy just unplugged your world.
Oh, I'm back. I have to test the computer.
I get you. Went into sleep mode.
Yeah, it did. I forgot about my phone.
That's funny. That is funny.
Well, there you go.
There we go. There's the picks for this week. Yeah. Well, I accidentally clicked this, so we'll get this little list going real quick before we hit the ones up. Our friends should be your friends if they're not already. Check them out right now. Elite Performance, What's Poppin' Corn Snacks, Printed Memories, Revved Up Tattoos, Doc Sports Picks, mybookie.ag, The Fighter's Friend, The One's Kitchen, Inner Beast Sportswear, and Southern Indiana Combat Productions. Check them out March 4th, 2023 down at Evansville Veterans Memorial Coliseum. First bell is at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check out the new website. SouthernIndianaCombat.com is live.
And we are in the biatch.
Bia. Damon, you got any ones up tonight?
Hey, the ones up is pretty simple. This is January, and the One's Kitchen Weekend Meals has returned for January. So January's weekend meal for pickup date January 15th. Last order date January 11th. We have a buffalo chicken pot pie at 10 bucks. Gluten-free version at 12 bucks, and then we have the ham, broccoli, and cheese pot pie also at 10 bucks, and the gluten-free version also at 12 bucks.
Pow pow! Look at that. He's making your butt feel good along with your stomach, gluten or non-gluten. He's making it right for you. The One's Kitchen. Check them out now.
That's the ones up.
All right. I do have something. And it is going to kind of be a little bit coming back to the game Monday night. A lot of people saying one way or the other. Hey, you know what? I am to the point now that I don't care what anybody says or doesn't say. Everybody has their own opinion. However, me being from that field before, obviously not in the NFL, but being on the field, playing that sport, seeing that happen in front of you, man, we've all seen crazy stuff happen in sports, obviously in all sports. We've never seen necessarily that to a magnitude in front of as many people at one time as what happened. Kudos to the emergency team on the field that was able to revive him. The last thing I heard was he was still sedated. He was breathing a little bit better. They still had, I think, oxygen went down from 100% to like 50% on the machine, which is a great recovery thing. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. We're still praying and giving our thoughts and sending him his way. I'm not a fan of Skip Bayless. I've never once liked Skip Bayless. I will say this though, the way he said it was stupid. The way the verbiage he used was dumb as shit. I understood what he was saying. I think that initial tweet that he put out was a little bit misconstrued. A little bit, not all the way. A little bit misconstrued because he did say all this, it's irrelevant now. That's exactly what my thoughts were. Yes, this magnitude of this game, blah, 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 up until that point. And at that point on, that didn't matter. Now, granted, I've seen people die in a ring. I've seen people die in a car. I've seen, we've seen people die on a basketball court. Yeah, time to go out. We've seen people die on a basketball court. We were talking about it in our thing. Hank Gathers from Loyola Marymount. Like I said, it was just never. And we've heard about even high school kids and stuff like that dying at football practice. Dehydration and other things. But the way it happened, that is just a phenomenon. Because from my understanding, and I'm no doctor, however, my uncle is a cardiologist, so I can have this information at will. And they set it out there, it's that beat. Your heart beats, and then right before it gets ready to reset for another beat, it's that split second that if you get hit right at that time, it'll immediately put you in a cardiac arrest. That's what they're saying happened. My conspiracy theorist inside of me says something else. I'm not going to go all the way out there on this.
Please do.
Okay. You want me to?
A little bit. Just give him a teaser. Because I'm interested to know what this theory is.
Could it possibly be? We don't know. Not enough evidence to say one way or the other. I'm going to lean more towards what the doctor would tell me, in this situation. But a doctor could tell me that again in that thing. But I'm not going on that route. Prayers go out to him. Hopefully he gets better. Like I said, hopefully. Somebody said it best. I don't remember who it was last night. I think talked about his paycheck. Talked about it. He's got a bonus of 100 and some thousand. He makes 800 and some thousand for the year. All the prayers and the thoughts and everything is not going to help that man get anything that the NFL should make sure that all of their players, past, present, future, as much as possible, can do what they want to do. As far as you shouldn't have to wait 4 years and then I'm able to get the insurance and this, that, and the other. I want to make sure that type thing changes. I hope that part changes in the future for all these kids that are going up thinking about playing in the NFL and then actually make it, and then they get hurt their first year or never see a game after they sign. They get hurt, in practice and in off season and stuff. So hopefully that's the part that changes. I don't see anything wrong as far as what happened on the field. I mean, it is what it is. You had to do what you had to do. So that's off to the emergency team.
Yeah, and you get into those contracts and those collective bargaining agreements and all those type of things. You know what I'm saying? When it deals with the pensions and things like that. Even in real jobs. If I know it's a sport, but it's still a job. It's still a job. I can get qualified for a pension, but I have to be at the job for so long. That's just the rules of the game. It sucks. It sucks that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say maybe not give them, the full pension or all that, because they should need to be, there for a certain amount of time, but maybe work different on the medical side of things.
That's what you got the collective bargaining agreement for. That's why you have the players union, the players association. So hopefully they'll keep making the progress that they are. Obviously, none of them are on the NBA when it comes to their collective bargaining agreement, but hopefully the NFL can catch up and get their shit together because I do think more so the veterans. You know what I mean? More so the veterans, the guys who can't combat that with a different income. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like a lot of these young guys, well, if you'd have done what you're supposed to do in school, you got something to fall back on. A lot of those old guys don't have that opportunity, so they need that for the medical side. So, yeah, I'd like to see some more stuff done with that. But you know what I mean? For this young man, he's got a strong heart, as you can see, and it's going to be, on its own once again. So, uh, positive energy to this young man and his family. And I think his GoFundMe is well over $5 million that he had the toy drive set up for. So,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I think his family can use our positive energy and others should be fine.
There you have it. And before we forget everybody else, because we can't do that. You know the others, Damon, who I'm talking about. That's right. Checkers and Wreckers, the state of basketball, super kicking it with Steven, just a bit outside, Combat Zone, and us here at Dukes. And just a quick reminder, Combat Zone is still going interviews of the Southern Indiana Combat Production Fighters for SICP2, the second coming. We'll be out shortly. We'll start those recordings next week, and they'll be popping on the Southern Indiana Combat Productions YouTube channel.
Wow.
Check them out. So BW Sports 1 is all over. That's right. It's all over. And Damon, this show's over. This show this week is over. OVER. And at the time of us being over, Damon, what do we
Oh, I heard
do?
her. We keep Indy sporty and not hungry.
Oh, hitting the button,